It's leg day. Gym is basically empty, so don't got to worry about equipment and stuff. Um, and we have officially dialed in our prep diet. We've been doing it now for a few days, which means I'm tired and hungry, but we have to go very serious considering we have 11 weeks to do about a 16-week prep. So, got to be pretty aggressive with it. We're going to be upping the cardio relatively considerably. But that also means we're not going to be going as heavy um, just due to the even more increased uh, lack of calories. I don't know if that's the right way to say that, but we're going lower weight, higher reps, um, and just focusing on form, slow and controlled eccentrics, and controlled concentric movements, potentially isolate or isometric holds, but that might be just something we mess around with in the future if it just really feels like we need to. But as of right now, just going to be more controlled sets um, and slower movements, or in instances like leg days, potentially like today. I think the only compound I'm going to do is going to be that leg press over there. Also, because I didn't get here till 11 o'clock, but we're probably just going to hit with that leg press and just do like sets like 25 to 30, um, and then like maybe some rest pause sets or whatever else. But um, yeah, that's the plan. Gonna get some pre-exhaustion stuff in here, and then hit that leg press, and then we'll see what we're gonna do from there. To be completely fair, my legs are probably the biggest thing I'm worried about when it comes to actual like show readiness, which is not something that I was anticipating, just because I do have genetically my legs are better than a lot of other parts of my body. But like pose downs and stuff, the legs are looking like they're lacking a little bit. But I'm aware of that, and so post show, once we get back on a bulk and everything, we're definitely going to be focusing a lot more on the legs and trying to grow some size on them. But it's just too late to do anything more than maintenance, and maybe we'll put some size on them, but I doubt it. I mean, 11 weeks is not enough time to change anything at this point. It's just cut down and see what we're working with. Okay, so pre-exhaustion hamstrings. My two my two biggest goals, I think, going into this prep is just going to be obviously get as lean as I can, um, but also start prioritizing um, hydration more, because I was really good at it for a long time, and now I don't know why, I just don't. I think one of my biggest setbacks right now in the gym is the fact that I'm just dehydrated. This might be my favorite hamstring machine. I'm not even gonna lie. All right, we'll be back over here later. Okay, so after that warm-up set of quad extensions, I stood up, I flexed my quads once, and them bitches locked up. So, like I said in the hamstring warm-ups, man, I got to prioritize the hydration a little bit more. Now they seem to be better, so maybe it was just the right after the set, but we're taking a good 5-10 minutes here and just breathing through it and drinking a bunch of water. Hopefully, tame down those cramps a little bit, and then we're gonna hit 2, maybe 3 sets here. I want to try and get sets of like 25, 30. I already set up and did a trial set here just to feel the weight out, and I ended up doing a working set. So we're 1 set in, 1 more, maybe 2 more here. And we're shooting for like 30 to 50 reps. We're taking the Tom Platz approach here, high volume. So we'll see what we end up with. Oh, oh, oh. Oh, I have no idea how many reps that was, but judge purely off of feel, I feel like I got way more out of that than I did those heavy sets of hack squat last week. My quads are toast, which, understandably, I don't even know how many reps. But that felt way cleaner, way more targeted and productive than that heavy set I did last time. Okay, so I didn't realize until after I completed another set on the leg press, 2 sets of quad extensions, and then 2 sets of hamstring curls, that my phone was out of storage. So every time I'd hit the record button, it'd record for about 2 seconds, quit, and then when I hit the record button again on the little device thing that I have, this little thing right here, by the time I hit the record button again, that would like clear the notice that I was out of storage. So I literally got nothing today. So no clue what I'm doing, obviously. But I mean, I can't remember if I said it in the video on the first leg press or not. If I got it, if I did, then I'm just being redundant here. But I feel like those leg presses, I got more out of those leg presses. I did like tester set to see what the weight was looking like, and I got 50 reps. Then I did that first working set that I got on camera. And then my third working set, before I realized I was out of data or out of storage, I got another 45, rested for 10 seconds, and then I got 15 more. I feel like I get more out of that Tom Platz approach, like I said, than a heavy set. It feels way more controlled. I feel like my quads got way more burn and way more work out of those kinds of sets than the heavy stuff. And you know, that could just be me making excuses to not go heavy. I don't know. And I can't really tell if there's anything, crazy different going on here. But it feels much better. So I'm sticking to that, at least until we're done with the prep and everything, and we get back on the old bulk train. But like I said, yesterday's arm day, we're keeping up with the videos, keeping up with the training. And like I said at the beginning of the day today, I am dialed in on like a 4-week out, 3-week out diet. So we're in like a 500 to 800 deficit. And, I'm sure if I talked to some dudes that knew what they were doing, they'd be like, you're being an idiot right now. And maybe that's the case. But this is my first show. Don't really have a coach. We're just kind of sending it on my own. And so, if we get up on stage and look like an idiot, then we look like an idiot. And we learn for next time. Like, I can already tell you, next year, if I decide to do another show, I'm starting prep like 20 weeks out. And we're going to take it nice and slow and really actually like dial in like, okay, this week I'm going to do a 300 deficit. And then 2 weeks from now, I'm going to drop it to a 400 deficit or a 350 deficit. Definitely going to control everything a lot more for a longer duration rather than doing like, all right, well, we're 3 months out. Let's lock it in. That was definitely not the move. But got to do what we got to do. Now it's, no point looking back and being like, oh, I wish I would have done this. There's nothing you can do about that. That's one of my biggest pet peeves is when people stress too much about what could have been. I should have started this prep probably a month or two ago. I didn't. No point in standing here going, oh, well, can I just go back in time? Can I just change this or change that? No, you can't. You got to lock it in where you're at. So, well, all we can do at this point is what makes sense. And what makes sense is I got to get on the diet, you know? So, I'm actually very happy with how that day went. This leg day went. I think it looks pretty good. Everything's looking, I mean, pretty full there. So, can't really complain or get too worked up. Like I said at the beginning, I think my legs are genetically one of my better things because like I did the typical gym bro thing when I first got back into lifting and didn't train legs for like probably a year and a half. So the fact that they are where they're at after not training them for so long, can't really complain about it. But because genetically they're kind of ahead a little bit, I think if I really were to put a lot more emphasis on it this next off season after this show, refeed and like hit legs twice a week and add in a heavy movement and then the sets of 50s. When we have that kind of energy to burn, I think that would really work wonders for us. And I think we'd probably get a lot of leg gains during the off season if we were able to do that. So pretty happy though today went. I'd say a 6, 7. Definitely above average. Got done what I wanted to get done, so that's good. But we do need to get out of here. Come back tomorrow for chest day. Don't forget to read your Bible. Happy 4th.